For organizational purposes today, I wanted to just go over how to create a folder so that you can save all of your files on your computer so that you have access to them and know where to find them each day. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of my computer and click on my little folder, and it looks like this. Whoops, let me try that again. Here it is. And what I'm going to do is over on the left side in my quick access section, I can go to Documents, or I can find that down in the This PC section. So I'm going to go to Documents. In there, you should have a digital art class folder. If you do not, you need to right-click, New, Folder, and add a digital art class folder. We did this at the very beginning of the course. So I'm going to click to open, double-click my digital art class folder. And in here we have some other project folders that we may or may not have used at this point, but we're going to add a folder here for our project. So I'm going to, in the lower section here in the white area, I'm going to right click and I'm going to go down to New, over to Folder. I'm going to call this folder Photopea Pop Art. Okay? And that will be our project folder, and we'll save everything we need into that folder. If I double click to open it, obviously it is empty because we just created it, but that is where I'm going to save all of my documents for this project.
Hello and welcome. Here we are on our objective screen, so let's go ahead and get started. What are we doing today? We will create a piece of pop art. How are we doing this? By using a free online program and talking about repetition. And why are we doing this? In order to talk about and learn about PA artist Andy Warhol, pop art, and how it is influenced by culture. Here is a long list of things that we have to do today. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First, we're going to work on finding an image, save that image, and then we're going to open up our online program. From there, we're going to create a canvas, insert the new image into that canvas, flatten the image, save that edited image. Then we're going to open up a larger canvas, which is going to be our working file. And then we're going to insert that image onto the larger canvas, save it, and then get it ready to submit. So we're going to make sure we save it in our Google Drive so we have access to it for the next session. And then we're also going to submit a screenshot as our progress photo. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to exit here. The first thing that we need to do is find an image and save that image. So I'm going to put this over here. And so here I am on Google. On the top right hand corner, I am going to change this to an image search. Now there's a few things that we need to remember when we're searching for an image. First off, the image must be school appropriate. Second, the image must be of a popular everyday object that is part of pop culture today. So something that is popular. And then the other thing to remember is you want a nice, solid, clean background. The more solid the background is, the easier your selection will be when trying to get rid of that background color. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put in a topic of some popular item like Pepsi. The other thing that we want to remember is we want this image to have lots of color. So when I look at all of these images here, this one has a nice amount of color. This one, blue and red and white, is the Pepsi logo, so we are stuck a little bit with that. But when you look over here, this is a nice arrangement of flavored Pepsis that have some different color on the can. So this might be a really interesting image to use. The other thing, so good quality image, popular image, lots of color, and as close to a square as you can get it, because the individual parts of the composition are going to be square. We're going to use those squares to build to make a rectangle, but we need to really have kind of a square-ish image. So it's a little bit more of a rectangle than I'd want. This is closer, but just not quite as much color as I was hoping for. This is not bad because it kind of has this fun thing here at the bottom with lots of interesting colors on it. And I do have a nice solid white background. It does have a squared off edge, which I'm okay with. So what I'm going to do right now is this might be a good choice for me. So I'm going to click it to get my preview. It's a little bit pixelated up, it cleared up there. And you can see already this one has a checkerboard background, which means that area is transparent or see-through. So that actually would save a really great step in our project if I got that image. So just for the sake of things, I'm going to save it. So I'm going to right-click, open image in a new tab. In the new tab, that's a nice quality image. I'm going to right-click and I'm going to save image as. Okay.
Sorry for the break in the recording, but I wanted to update this. So if you wanted to save this to the folder we created, you're going to first right-click, open in a new tab. Once you have that file open, you're going to right-click and save image as. This is going to give you the best quality image by opening it in a new tab. It gives you a nice big image. So I'm going to save image as. When I click on that, I'm going to, over in the left side, find my folder. So we put that in Documents, Digital Art class, and we should have that Photopea Pop Art folder. There it is. I can give this a name. We'll call it Pepsi 1, and I'm going to go ahead and save. So from this point on, when you're saving your documents, you're going to make sure that you are using that folder.
So that's one. Let's keep looking and see what else we can find because of that transparent background. Good for me, not good for demonstration purposes. So we're going to go ahead and see if I just go down and close this so I can see more images. This is not bad. It's a little more rectangular. I kind of like it when I get a little bit more of that white bottom. I think I'll go with that one. So I'm going to right click, open image in a new tab. When I get to that image, nice quality image, got a background, solid background, there's no shading, save image as. Once again, I'm in that pop art object folder, so I'm good. I don't have to find it again. Pepsi, and I'll put a 3 at the end of that one. And that's a JPEG, and that's also a good image for this project. So I've got a couple of choices. Still not sure that I found the best with the most, lots of examples of color possible. So I'm just going to quickly look. This is kind of fun for Easter, and Pepsi there, and lots of colors. That might work, except it's kind of rectangular. And keep going. Okay, school appropriate, solid backgrounds, nice color, good quality image. So this image would not really work all that well because it doesn't have a nice solid background. There's too much going on in the background. Same thing with something like this. You know, you got all this background stuff going on. Not a good idea there either. You might be tempted to do like something like this. Again, lots going on in the background. That's a cute picture, but it's going to make your life crazy with this project. There's another thing I wanted to show you. Okay. Something like this. There is this funky mist or glow behind the image. No, I don't open that up. Open image in a new tab, and that eliminates all the garbage. But you can see this like mist. That's going to cause a problem. It's not a solid background anymore. Shading or shadows in the background also will cause problems. So let's see, there's some color involved in that one. This is an image I did before, and it turned out pretty well. I have that one already saved, I believe, but let's go ahead and just make sure. So open in a new tab, and I'm gonna, once I get into that new tab, I'm gonna save image as, and I'll call it Pepsi 4. I think that's actually what I'm going to go with because I kind of like the variant in color, this gradient here. I think that's kind of a neat image. All right, so I could keep looking, but I have a bunch to choose from, so I think we'll go with something that I have. All right, so what I'm going to do next, if we're looking back at our list, the next thing that we have to do is we've saved the image. We need to open up Photopea.com. So this is the new program we're going to use, and it's really, really nice program, and it's really similar to Photoshop. Okay, so once I click on Photopea.com, it gives me this little intro. I'm going to close that, and now I'm right into the program. One of the things that they do is that it is free, and if we click on account, you can kind of see this. We get full functionality out of the program, which is what we were lacking in another program we were using. There are ads, and we can only go back 30 steps in our history. So those are the limitations to that free account. We do not need to log in to do what we're going to do. So when we get into Photopea.com, we're going to go right here to where it says New Project. So I'm going to click on New Project. It's then going to bring up a dialog box for us to add some information. The first thing here on the left, it says name. So this is a temporary file that we're going to use. So I'm just going to put temp in there. We are going to do this in pixels, so we make sure that our unit of measure is px, and then we're going to change the width of this project to 300 and the height to 300. Remember, I said we want it to be square. We're going to work in 72 dpi, so that's perfectly fine. I am going to suggest that you make the background transparent, so the background is see-through. Okay. After you have those changes made up here in the top left, you can hit create. The other nice thing that this program does do is it gives you some standard sizes for different things. For example, I was trying to put in a header image and I just couldn't get the proportions proper. And I looked it up online and I had lots of different answers for what those sizes should be. So it was, I don't know if it was for YouTube or if it was for another program, but I did it once for YouTube too. And this will give you exactly what those proportions and sizes should be so that the image doesn't get cropped or edited. So this is a really nice feature of Photopea, but you know, just something to think about. So anyway, there's my information. I'm gonna hit create. Oh, it's kind of small to see down here. So I'm gonna click on my magnifying, oh, that's a finder, not a magnifying glass. Over here is my magnifying glass. And we're just gonna zoom in a little bit so we can see what we're working on. Okay, there's a lot to this program. Like I said, really nice, strong program. Okay, so now that we have our canvas, we can see it nice and big. We're gonna insert the image that we selected. So I'm gonna go File, and we're going to open and place. That's going to open this image onto the current document. So I'm going to go into there. Again, this is going to look a little different on your Chromebook. You're going to find your Google Drive and find your 8th grade digital art folder and find that pop art object. And we were going to go with this Pepsi 4 image, this last one I found. So I'm going to hit open. Okay, so when I open that, it does kind of fill the canvas, but if I grab this corner here, I'm going to stretch out my image and make it too fat. So I don't want to do that. Okay, it does place it there nicely. If you need to stretch it, you can stretch it. If I stretch it by using the corner, I can still stretch it and make it fat. But if you hold the shift button, it's going to keep the proportions. Now, if I do that, it's going to make my image too big. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it and just center it somehow in there like that. With the handles, all you're going to do to set that so that it doesn't move on you and you don't have those transformation edits and handles anymore, you can hit the check mark up in the top to set it, or you can double click it and it will set that change. Okay, so that now we put the image onto our canvas. Don't worry about the white area. We're going to handle that here soon. All right, so the next thing what we want to do is we're going to take this image and we want to make it one layer over here on the layers palette instead of multiple layers. So we're going to, over here on the layers palette, in this group, we're going to right click and we're going to flatten our image. Okay, so now it's down to 1. The whole image background is white and we're good to go for the next step. That way, we just took a rectangular image and made it a square, perfect square image. All right, now what we're going to do, this is our temporary file that we just created. We're going to now add this temporary file to the actual canvas. So we're going to create a new document. So File, New. This time, this is our actual working document. So where it says name, I'm going to put in my last name, comma, first name, space, hyphen, space, project title, which is Pop Art Object. This time we're going to change the width to 900 pixels. Again, make sure the unit of measures there correct first before you start adding your numbers. And then your height is going to be 600. Okay. Same DPI, transparent background's fine. And we're going to hit create. All right, so there is our new canvas. You notice that we still have our temporary tab up here and our new file there, so we can toggle between those two documents. So what we're going to do is on the temporary document, we're going to come down to the layers palette, grab this background layer that has everything on it, come up to our working file, kind of hover over top of it and drop. What that did was it dropped that layer onto my new document. Again, it's a little bit small to see, so I'm going to grab my magnifying glass and zoom in so that I can see what we're doing. Over on the left toolbar here, we're going to click on our select tool. That's the safest place to be when we're doing any edits. And that way we won't make such a mistake that we didn't intend to. After we do that, that's all we have for this session. So I'm going to go ahead and save the document. So File, we're going to click Save as PSD. What that is going to allow us to do is the next time we open this document up, we will have all of the layers still fully intact over in the Layers palette. So I'm going to go File, Save as PSD.
Once I click Save as PSD, it's going to bring up this dialog box. We're going to again navigate to our documents, find Digital Art class, find the Photopea Pop Art project, make sure our file name looks correct. Should be last name, comma, first name, space, hyphen, project title, which is Pop Art Object, and the file type is a PSD file. Once you've checked the location at the top, the file name, and the type, click Save. Now that's in your folder for access for the next session.
The other thing that we need to do at this point is take a screenshot. So you'll take a screenshot on your Chromebook. I am using my iPad or my MacBook, and we don't need the entire thing. Like, I don't need this ad that's over here, but what I do need is the project itself, the entire canvas part, and this layers palette that's over here. So I'm going to stretch it out so I can see all of that stuff, and then I'm going to take my picture. So that is now saved in my downloads or in my documents. I can't remember. I need to do it one more time because I pushed one wrong button. Try it again and drag that out so that I have everything that I need to be seeing. All right, and that should be then there. It pops up as that I did it properly down here in the corner. Okay, so I've got my screenshot for the progress photo, and I've got my file saved so that I can keep working on this in the next session. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out and let me know.